Darren Muji is the new Jets general manager. A lot to get into. We'll break down his resume. Plus, the Shrine Bowl is underway and the Senior Bowl is right around the corner, which means draft season is here. A lot to break down, and we'll cover it for you and much more, all coming up here on a Sunday edition of NY Flight Jets Talk.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer and Jets legend Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk. Sunday, January 26, 2025. A lot to get into here on this Sunday morning. Conference championships obviously coming up in the NFL today. Bills, Chiefs, Commanders, Eagles. So fun slate of football games coming up today. But we are here this morning to talk New York Jets football. Smash the like button on your way into the building. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all your support. And don't forget about our membership raffle. Throw the ticker on down below. Running out of time to get into our membership raffle. The month's coming to its end. This month, we're giving away Garrett Wilson signed mini helmet, Wankerbet signed football, free item from our merch store, and a channel emoji. So be sure to get in on that if you haven't already. So we have a lot to get into this morning, whether it's Darren Muji officially being named the Jets general manager. We did a breaking news stream on that yesterday, but today we'll go in depth on his resume. And then the mock draft, something we've been waiting a little while to do now. So we're going to do a mock draft, our first mock draft in preparation for the 2025 NFL draft. So a lot to look forward to. Appreciate you all tuning in. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in the chat. Our guy Brooklyn Cortez is in the house, hyped up for the show. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Your support means a ton. And our guy Jimmy Jets, before the show even starts, comes in and he gives a membership. Jimmy, it's updated on the ticker down below. You have a 20 ticket lead over our guy Chris J. So you are in first place currently for our membership raffle. Jimmy, your support means a lot to the show. Jay Lepselter comes in and says, Muji, yes, sir. Then he says, is Houston going to snatch Nick Caley? It's an interesting topic. I could see, obviously they just hired Bobby Slowick, so now they have an OC. They have a spot. They're vacant at the offensive coordinator position is the simple way to put it. I would say Nick Caley would prefer to go to Houston if it was between Houston and the Jets, just because you have a young quarterback to work with. They have a lot of offensive firepower. They seem to be like a more functional organization. They have a proven head coach. So I hope Nick Caley comes to the Jets and he's their next offensive coordinator. But I think there is a solid chance he goes to Houston. If it comes down to the two, I could see him going. I could see him going to Houston. B Show 58 comes in, channel member. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate your support on the show. Smash the like. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Your support means a ton. Joe Grana comes in, looking good. Connor, no car crash for you. No car crash. Look for you today. LOL. You're the best, Joe. Appreciate your support on the channel. B Show's a Dolphins fan, it looks like, as a channel member here, but I must say, go Dolphins. All right. I see what it's like, a little AFC East division rivalry, but keep the questions coming in. We'll be sure to get to all of those. If you would like to call into the show and talk all things New York Jets, click the pinned comment. We will get you up on the screen, but I guess we're going to start is Darren Muji. It's now official. He's the next Jets general manager, 39 years old. Funny part, he's actually a former quarterback and tight end at San Diego State. He spent some time in the NFL. I think he spent 2 seasons on the NFL with 2 different teams. I forgot the teams, but I know he was in the NFL for a few seasons. He's 6'6". He's huge. That's one of the main things that people have been talking about. People are saying he has a big presence about him, but people get confused whether it's IQ or it's height. So yeah, he's 6'6". He's a huge guy. High IQ though. That's one of the things that I wanted to get into. That's the reputation he's been garnering the past few seasons. He's one of the fastest rising executives. He's been viewed as a rising star, an up and coming GM candidate the past few seasons. He kickstarted his career as an executive in 2012 with the Broncos. All of his time as an executive at the NFL level comes with the Broncos. Started there in 2012 as a scouting intern, has worked his way all the way up from scouting intern to now assistant general manager. He's been in that role since 2022. He survived multiple regime changes. He's been the right-hand man for George Patton the past few seasons. Patton has has spoke highly of him overall. Some of the skills that I want to hone in on from Mougey is he's known for dealing with ownership. That was one of the things I heard, which is you're going to need that if you want to be the GM in the New York Jets. If you get the Woody Johnson joke there. has a deep background in pro and college scouting, and is known for assembling coaching staff. So he has the background as a talent evaluator. He knows what it's like to build relationships. Some say his personality is very similar to Kevin O'Connell. Funny enough, Kevin O'Connell, Vikings head coach, former Jets backup quarterback, they were college roommates together, which is actually kind of funny. So people seem to really like Muji. Like I said, he's been viewed as an up and coming GM candidate the past few years. I think it's pretty impressive for someone to survive several regimes, have a strong relationship with ownership. And there's something to be said, I think, from just rising through the ranks in one organization like the Denver Broncos. Starting in 2012 as a scouting intern. It wasn't even like he was director of football administration or something. Started off as an intern, a scouting intern, similar to what Alec Halibut did with the Eagles 17 years ago. Started there in 2012 and has really climbed his way to the top. And he's really liked, like I said, because a lot of his colleagues were out of jobs once they went through several regime changes. However, that was not the case for Darren Muji. He's been really well liked by everyone he's dealt with. So it's hard. Like I said, it's so hard to evaluate an executive when they have no GM experience. You just got to hope he's better than 30 and 64 or whatever Joe Douglas was. His limited experience with the cap concerns me a little bit. I'm still hoping you could get like a veteran guy in here, like a Thomas Dimitroff, to kind of, maybe he's in that, vice president of football ops. Maybe he's helping out with some cap stuff. Maybe you can potentially, I think Mike Greenberg's going to get a GM job, but maybe he would be interested in potentially taking a lateral move to be the assistant GM here. So I hope there's another hire, someone who has more experience with Muji to kind of help out and be his right-hand man. But as of now, like I said yesterday, among those three finalists in Trey Brown, Lance Newmark, Darren Muji, none of them were super impressive to me. None of them were on my radar, quite frankly, when this search first started. But among the three, Muji was my favorite. So I guess you could call it a win. I would have, when I released my GM tier rankings, it was before they had interviewed Muji. He probably would have been in my C tier. So average, middle of the road candidate. Doesn't really stick out because mainly he has no GM experience whatsoever, which is a massive concern. I think when we kind of look at what this team needs overall, let's be real, a first-time head coach and a first-time GM is a little concerning. So that's all I really have with Muji there. Like I said, I hope he could do great things in the New York market. I'm going to be rooting for him through thick and thin. He's going to have his fair shot because that's what Woody Johnson's done. You could call Woody Johnson a meddling owner or whatever you want to call him. That's true. He's meddled over the past few years. He's meddled when he does not trust Robert Saleh, when he does not trust Joe Douglas. But here's the thing. Woody Johnson gives out lengthy contracts to first-time head coaches and first-time GMs. We saw it with Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn got a 5-year deal. Woody gave Joe Douglas 6 years. I'd expect Muji to get a 5 or 6 year deal with this team. That's what I think. That when the contract gets released and everything, I think that's what it's going to look like. And Muji alongside Glenn will be introduced tomorrow in Florham Park, New Jersey at 1 p.m. EST. I'll be at school, obviously, so I can't do the live presser reaction. I'll be on around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock tomorrow. We'll break down the presser and talk all things New York Jets. And I appreciate you tuning in. Smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Keep your questions coming in. We'll be sure to get to those. Call into the show. Pinned comment in the chat. But I think it's time. We broke down Darren Muji. I see B Show in here. He wants to talk draft. I know it's been on people's minds lately since the search is over. All things have kind of shifted now towards free agency and the draft once the whole coaching staff gets fully assembled. So we are going to do our first mock draft in preparation for the 2025 NFL draft. I'm going to pull up the PFF mock draft simulator, and that is what we are going to use for today's mock draft. I'll go full screen on because I know it's a little difficult for you guys to see. Could you see the screen though? Let me know. Let me know if you could see the screen here, and then we will get started here. Jets sitting at pick 7, obviously, which is an interesting spot because I view this draft class as pretty top heavy. I think that's the way Connor Rogers described it compared to last draft class overall, where you could find talent basically anywhere. This one, it's basically you have top 10, top 12 legit players who are able to come in and make an impact right away. I see you guys are saying too small. We're going to go full screen here. I'll come out we're going to do a 7-round mock here. We'll go turbo. I like this setting they added, the public board versus PFF board, because I love Trevor Sikkema, but the PFF board's been a little questionable as of late. So we're going to throw that right in the middle here. So I want kind of half of Sikkema's insights, and then the other half I want to be the public board. Care for positional value, I think care for positional value is okay where it is. Draft for needs, I like that. And then randomness, yeah. Because if you put it on no randomness whatsoever, it's just going to do the consensus for every single pick, which is obviously not going to happen. All right. So let me know if it's okay now. I put it in full screen. Let me know if you guys can see it. Just triple checking here. So I don't want to make sure this gets messed up. I want to make sure you guys can see and throw your input here on this whole draft. Let's see if we. Is that better? I tried zooming in a little. There we go. It looks like that is probably more clear for you guys to see. Let me know in the chat before we get started here. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, we're gonna get started now. Oh, Jay says no. B Show says perfect. I'll do one more. Okay, I'll try to do one more and then see. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, I don't think you guys would be able to see. I think this is enough. Okay, perfect. This should be enough for you guys. All right, we're gonna get started. I'll put it on fast because I still want to. Actually, yeah, I'll go fast. I want to see like what the picks are making in case we have a trade up scenario, trade down. Let me boom. All right, so we'll get started here. Enter the draft. Here we go. Jets sitting at pick 7. Pick 7 is where the New York Jets are in the 2025 NFL draft. It's time to get this mock draft started. Boom. All right. Let's look at the picks ahead of us. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Ted McMillan, Mason Graham, Shedeur Sanders. I'm a little surprised the Browns didn't go. I think in the NFL draft, they're either going to go with a quarterback or they're going to go with Abdul Carter. So a little surprising, I would say, that they go with Travis Hunter here. Abdul Carter at 3 for the Giants. I said they would have gone Shedeur if this was the real draft. I don't think they would have taken Abdul Carter that spot in that pick when Shedeur is still available. Ted McMillan to the Patriots makes sense. Mason Graham to the Jaguars makes sense. Shedeur Sanders to the Raiders makes sense. Now let's look at the players available. Let's focus on the top of the board here. Ashton Jeanty, he's a running back. I'd say he goes around pick 12. That's where I have him going to the Cowboys. So Jets aren't obviously not drafting a running back with the top 10 pick. The Jets have a ton of depth at the running back position right now. I'm a huge fan of Malachi Starks. I'm going to be honest here. The Jets need a lot of safety help. They're going to probably need 4 safeties for next year. The problem is I'm not too big on taking a safety here within the top 10. Out of these players available, Will Campbell's another one, a tackle from LSU. I'd say he's a top 12, top 15 pick for me on my board. And then Mike Green is a really, really solid edge rusher here. Right now, if I'm the Jets and this is the order, there's 2 things I'm considering right now. I'm either trading down. We're going to look at the trade options in a little bit here before we make the pick. Or I'm taking Will Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan. Will Johnson's really interesting. I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of his. From what I've seen, I think he has excellent size. He's excellent length. He's a very controlled player. He stays poised. He's patient. And he's versatile. I've seen him run coverage, man coverage. I've seen him go in zone. So you could really plug and play with him. I think he would be a really, really solid complement to Sauce Gardner, given that DJ Reed is going to walk in free agency. So among these players, I would take Will Johnson, but let's explore the trade options here. And I want you guys to have input here too. Let's just make this clear. I don't want this to be me just telling you guys what to do. I want you guys to have input here as well. Let me be, see, 9 doesn't intrigue me. What about 17 here with the Bengals? What are your guys' thoughts on trading down to 17 here with the Bengals and seeing what we could get in exchange for 7? Trade down 10 picks. Could we get that's lopsided. They would not do that. 17 next year's 1-49. What about you guys I see Jimmy saying too far, some saying draft Will Johnson. I would say Will Johnson if I had to make this pick. I think, yeah, I agree. I think 17 is a little too far. And then trading down to 9, I don't think that really gets anything accomplished, in my opinion. Trading down to 9, I think you might as well just take Will Johnson here. Because the options where we could trade down as of now are 9, 17, 20, 21, 22 are way too far. 17, I'd say, is still a little too far down for my liking. And then 9, I don't think you're really getting anything accomplished. Like, I don't think there's going to be talent there, honestly. Like I said, this draft is top heavy. And I see you getting to 9 and there, I'd say Johnson and Starks would probably be off the board by then. Potentially Campbell. Then you're looking at a Mike Green, a Luther Burden. I think Luther Burden is one of the most overrated players in this year's draft. I'm going to be honest. I like Mike Green, but still. Tyler Warren, I see him going in some people's mocks. I don't want a tight end this high. I see Joe Grana say, what do you get for 9? I mean, let's see. Yeah, they won't even give us a 2. There's no point in that, I don't think. So what, you trade back 2 spots, miss out on a lot of talent, so you pick up an extra thirder. Would they do this? Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of just trading back and picking up an extra 3rd-round pick to miss out on some talent there. Let me know what you guys think. I'll leave this pick up to you, but if I'm the Jets, I'm taking Will Johnson here. Let me know what you guys have to say in the chat, and then we'll make our pick here. We'll run it up to the podium. Yeah, let me know in the chat. We'll see what you guys want to do. Is it Will Johnson? Is it Malachi Starks? Let's see what you guys have to say here. Leave this one up to you guys. But if I'm the Jets, like I said, I think you take Will Johnson. I think he's a perfect complement to Sauce Gardner. And I think the Jets are going to need a cornerback too next season. I really do. Michael Carter's obviously going to be in the slot. I don't trust re-signing Brendan Eccles as a stable option. Yeah, everyone's saying Johnson in the chat. All right, that's it. With the 7th pick in the 2025 NY Flight Jets Talk first mock draft, the New York Jets select Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan. There we go. All right, now we're going to look in the 2nd round here. All right. Okay, this is interesting. Where we are. So there are 3 names here that I really, really like before we look at trading. We're going to look at trading down for every pick, just to let you guys know that. So just, don't view it as surprising or anything. There are 3 names that I really, really like here. Jahad Campbell, the linebacker from Alabama. Gary Zabel, the tackle from North Dakota State, and Xavier Watts. I'll kind of give you my little breakdown on each one. I guess we'll start with Jahad Campbell. I really like his size. Oh, we'll start pulling up their stats too. I really like his size. He finished first in coverage stops too, which is pretty impressive. He's graded pretty high by PFF, but let's be clear, PFF doesn't mean the world, but still, it's nice to have someone graded pretty high. Finished first in coverage stops. He has great speed. I think he has solid. I think he's pretty explosive, which I think is what you want in a linebacker in the NFL. He has solid discipline. He has great athletic ability. He's a solid tackler. The problem is, do we want to use a 2nd-round pick on a linebacker if we pretty much know they're going to re-sign Jamian Sherwood? I think they're going to re-sign Jamian Sherwood. That's where I am right now. So I'm not too big on taking a 2nd-round flyer on a linebacker here. So I'm going to remove Campbell from the equation here. I think he has the potential to be a solid player in the NFL, but I'm going to kind of narrow this down here to Xavier Watts and Gary Zabel. I think Gary Zabel has the potential, if the Jets draft him, to be their starting right tackle next season. I want Morgan Moses back I want him as a backup, though. Let's be clear. I don't want him to start next season. I want him back on a cheaper deal as a backup. So Gary Zabel from North Dakota State, he's a pretty interesting one. Some notes I have on him: great athletic ability. He has great power. Great at he could set edges perfectly fine. He's a great finisher. So Gary Zabel is a pretty interesting option if the Jets want to go tackle in the 2nd round here. This is the pick I'm leaning though right here. Xavier Watts, the safety from Notre Dame. He's been on my radar as of late. He's an interesting name to look for here on this draft. He's a high motor, first off, which I think is really important. He's a very, very hard worker, quick feet, is able to run downhill, stop the run, a great run stuffer, very physical. I think he's everything you want to look for in a New York Jet. I think Aaron Glenn would love working with him. So as of this pick, we're going to look at the trade offers too, so stay tuned. If the Jets aren't trading down here, probably Xavier Watts is my pick among these names. But let's look at the trade offers here. Let me know what you guys want to do here. Let's look at the trade offers, though. So the Cardinals at 47. A lot of people want this pick. Would the Cardinals take? Honestly, we could check this out for 42. They won't even give us. Yeah, that's what Cardinals won't do that. I don't want to I like where the Jets are in this pick right now. Let me know in the chat. I want everyone's intel, but I would take Xavier Watts if I'm the New York Jets right here. I think he's their best option right now. I see a lot of people saying Watts, no doubt. Jimmy says Sherwood goes to Atlanta. That's certainly a possibility. Watts, okay. We'll give it about 15 more seconds before we officially put in the pick. Watts, yeah. B-Show Caden want Watts. Cortez says Watts. Matt says Watts. Daniel says Gary. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I would prefer Watts, though. Yeah, I think we're gonna run it up to the podium with the 42nd pick in the first 2025 NY Flight Jets Talk mock draft. Our New York Jets select safety Xavier Watts of Notre Dame. Good pick here. I'm a huge fan of Watts. I like what he brings to the table. Jets need a lot of safety help. I think that kind of hones in on the positional value aspect of the draft compared to someone who, like, along with someone who has a high motor and is a hard worker. I like that pick. All right. Here we are. Pick 92. Our pick in the third round. Let's look at the talent here. I don't think it's really too impressive for me. Donovan Jackson's an interesting tackle. We didn't go Zabel with the pick in the second round. Jackson could be an interesting name to look at here. Johnson, the tackle from Ohio State. Here's what I've watched all these guys, so I just want to. I watched a game or two on all these guys. Here's some of my notes on Donovan Jackson. He has great strength. He's great footwork, which I really like. He's quick to just get off and set edges. He's quick. He has a quick first step, I think is the simple way of saying it. He does a great job of securing the first level in the run game. I am a huge fan overall of Donovan Jackson here. We took a safety, so Mook Uba from Texas. I don't think is the answer here. I don't want to go a center. I don't think edge is the answer here. Arroyo, I am not a huge fan of Elijah Arroyo here, the tight end from Miami. I'm going to avoid him right now. I'm leaning towards Donovan Jackson, the tackle from Ohio State. So he's the person I'm going to try to target here. But let's look at the trade options. We could trade down 5 spots with Minnesota with the Vikings. Let's see what they would be willing to give us. We do. I don't know. Let's check 99 with the. Can we get 99 and 111? Nah, I'm not trading down. I think right now I'm trading down. I'm selecting Donovan Jackson. Let me check. Yeah, you guys let me know. I'll check his grade for you guys. Here is his PFF sheet right here. And let's be clear, PFF grades are not, do or die grades. It's not everything. Check out his no, they don't have that yet. Trends. Here's some of his trends. Stats, first look. 6'4", 320 is 94th on their big board. He's an interesting name to watch. Let me know where you guys are leaning right now based on what I just provided for you guys. I think Jackson's the answer right here. But certainly a lot of options with the pick, a lot of the different directions they could go in just given the positions available. I can even scroll down a little further. I mean, let's look at quarterbacks. Wow, Will Howard's already off. Where did Will Howard go? Wow, we went top really early in the third round. That's surprising. Milrose gone. Caden Jett says, how many sacks allowed? Good question. Let me get that for you. Donovan Jackson, 2024 sacks allowed. He allowed 2 sacks in 2024 against Penn State. I think he allowed both of them against Penn State. That's what it's saying. So Jackson's an interesting one. But before we get back to any other draft talk, Mother effing Chew comes in with a gifted membership. Chew, really appreciate all your support here on the show. That is another raffle ticket for you. Great stuff as always. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your Sunday, Mother effing Chew. That means a lot. Appreciate your support. I'll get the rest of the questions after we finish the mock draft here. But let me know. Caden says, get Jackson to trade down only options. I think Donovan Jackson here is the best. I want everyone's input who's interested. So please let me know. I want you guys to kind of help operate this mock draft with me. That's, I think, the cool aspect here on the show where we get you guys engaged. So let me know. I would love Donovan Jackson. Someone's saying Derek Harmon from Oregon is the answer. Let's look at him. Okay. Harmon could be the guy if they want to go interior D-line. There's some interior defensive linemen I like later in the draft. I see a lot of you guys saying it seems like Jackson kind of has the lead right now, so I'll give you 10 more seconds to put in your votes. Harmon's interesting, but I'm leaning towards Donovan Jackson here, kind of solidify all 5 spots, the offensive line for next year in the third round. I think that's really important. Smash the like, guys. Appreciate your support. Make sure you are subscribed. 33 of you in the building on YouTube, only 24 likes. Please hit the like button. All right, Donovan Jackson has kind of run away with our vote here. So, with what pick do we have? With the 92nd pick in the first NY Flight Jets Talk 2025 mock draft, the New York Jets select Donovan Jackson, tackle Ohio State. Donovan Jackson, a solid pick here for our Jets. And then we're back on the clock shortly. So where are we? Arroyo's still here. So not a lot of teams like Elijah Arroyo. Let's look at the quarterbacks here first. All right. Not any quarterback I would be willing to take here. David Walker is an interesting name. We'll look into him shortly. I mean, the Jets do need tight ends next season. Tyler Conklin's still no sure thing that he's coming back with the Jets next season. There's a chance the Jets might need 3 tight ends next season. Arroyo's interesting. He's at 108. He was 80th on their big board. I like David Walker a lot, the edge from Central Arkansas. I see you guys saying tight end or linebacker. I'll give you some notes I have here on Arroyo. Let me find him quickly. Stand by. Where am I? Okay, here it is. I like his route tree. He has a pretty vertical and versatile route tree overall. He has solid hands and he's a high football IQ. Those are the positive notes I have on Elijah Arroyo after watching 2 of his games. So I'm okay, 4th round, maybe 3rd round, definitely not. I see Cortez saying a no-go on Arroyo. I'll check his run blocking grade for you. Where is it? Caden, it looks like he's pretty middle of the road run blocker with 61.4 grade from PFF. I mean, look, the 4th most deep catches, the 4th most deep yards, 11.0 ADOT, which is good. Forced 3 missed tackles. Yards after catch are nice, 9.1. I'm okay taking Arroyo here. I'd say right now it's between, for me, Arroyo or David Walker. We'll look at the linebackers, though, because I see you guys asking for linebackers. Look at Barrett Carter. Coverage grade concerns me a little. Did we take? Oh no, we didn't take Jahad Campbell. I'd say the pick here is Arroyo. Let me know in the chat. Give you a few more seconds here to vote before we run it up to the podium. Oh, Terrence Ferguson's actually another interesting one too if we want to look at him. I'd say Arroyo's numbers are more impressive. Joe Grana says take the tight end from Syracuse. Let's look at him. He's up there? They have him so low. I don't even think he'll get drafted. Ugh, but yeah, I'm not deep yards are nice. Contested catches are nice. I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched a ton of him, so I'm going to probably rely on you guys for that. I watched a few that Harold Fannin Jr. would have been great from Bowling Green. He's my favorite tight end in the draft this year, but he went early. He went earlier, so we couldn't snag him. Arroyo or Harmon, guys. That's what it is. Caden says we're going to need linebackers because Glenn's going to blitz a lot. I don't think there's any linebackers here, though, that I think are worth drafting. Like Barrett Carter, the run blocking's good, but other than that, his metrics are not great among other linebackers in the NCAA. Coverage grade's poor. Pass rush grade's okay. Overall grade's mid. Here's the thing. I know you guys are saying what's his name? Is he even there still? Was it Harmon? Is he even there? I don't even think Harmon's there. That might have been last round. We were talking about him. There's this really solid interior defensive lineman from South Carolina I like in one of the later rounds. We can even explore a trade back here if you guys don't think anyone's worth drafting. Giants, could we get one? What about next year's 4? What about this? Let me know what you guys think about this. 133, 155, and next year's 6th for 108. Or even if we want to go back a few spots, we can look here. This could be an interesting one. What about 119, 156, and the 7th next year? I kind of like this more from Tampa Bay. You get 119, 156, and next year's 7th. I'm kind of leaning that way right now. You only go back a handful of spots. Let me know what you guys think of this here. I like this one. This is probably my favorite option now. I just noticed we didn't look at the trade back options. See Caden saying trade back. Cortez says take that trade. All right, we'll do it. We'll trade this pick. Nice. First trade of the draft. All right, we're on the clock shortly. Arroyo's still there. Nobody wants Elijah Arroyo. Wow. All right. We're looking at a similar board here because none of the guys taken really affected us, except potentially Kaiser from Notre Dame, but he wasn't really particularly on our radar. Let's look at quarterbacks quickly. I want to take McCord with our next pick. Do you guys think we should just take a quarterback now or wait until next pick and hope McCord is there or Quinn Ewers? I would not mind running it up to the podium with a quarterback right now. I think it's the worst case scenario that we could do here. I like David Walker. I will say that this edge class, look at these numbers. This edge class overall is really, really deep. Really deep. But David Walker from Central Arkansas really stands out to me. I'm a huge fan. I think I watched 3 of his games actually. He has a very, very explosive first step here. Great stopping the run, very powerful finisher, is a big hitter, is someone you guys are going to want to watch here. The edge class is really deep, but Walker really, really stands out to me. I'm telling you, David Walker is an elite edge rusher. Those were my notes on him there. So you can see he is a top end guy. I think I'm going to run it up now. You guys are saying Walker in the chat. The 119th overall pick in the 2025 NY Flight Jetstock mock draft. New York Jets select David Walker, edge rusher, Central Arkansas. Boom. There we go, David Walker. Welcome to New Jersey. Huge, huge pick there. I'm a huge fan of his. Arroyo's still there. Happy we didn't take him. Oh, McCord's available, guys. Hey now. Kyle McCord from Syracuse, someone I'm a huge fan of. I was just watching him the other day. Grew up a Jet fan. Wears number 6 because of Mark Sanchez. Here's what I have on him. Let me get this up. I'll pull up his PFF numbers too for you guys so you can see this. He's a great deep ball. Beautiful deep ball. Yeah, you guys are leaning McCord here too. Beautiful deep ball. Great numbers. Here's what I have on him. Let's get this. Here's something I noticed. He has a quick, sharp release. He has great mechanics. He reminds me of a pocket passer. His size, 6'3", 220, reminds me of a more mobile version of Jared Goff. He's 132nd on PFF's big board. Like I said, beyond accurate pocket passer. Great mechanics, quick, sharp release. Elite ball placement when he's in the pocket. Great understanding of when to add velocity, touch, or layers to his ball. Problem is he struggles under pressure a little. His athleticism isn't too impressive, and he's prone to some turnover-worthy plays. But I think Kyle McCord is sitting here. What we are in the midway through the 5th round. Grew up a Jet fan. You're going to draft a quarterback this year. I think McCord's the best option. Because after McCord, now you're looking at this bottom tier of just Jackson Dart's there. Don't worry, that's messed up in the PFF system. I saw that the other day. They haven't updated, so we're going to keep it realistic. We're not drafting Jackson Dart here because that's not going to happen. So I'm thinking Kyle McCord right now. I see you guys in the chat. We'll run it up with the 145th pick in the 2025 NY Flight Jetstock mock draft. The New York Jets select fellow Jets fan, Kyle McCord, quarterback, Syracuse. Kyle McCord is the pick, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right, pick 156 now. Let's see who's here. Let's look around on this board over here. Let's see who we picked first, because I'm kind of forgetting now. Wow. Will Johnson, Xavier Watts, Donovan Jackson, David Walker, Kyle McCord. Okay. Some interesting picks there. Elijah Arroyo's off the board, so someone was interested in him. Ricky White. Ricky White could be an interesting option here, guys. Wide receiver in Nevada. He's been climbing some boards recently. Let's look at the linebacker position. Jay Higgins from Iowa's great linebacker who's great in coverage. Numbers aren't too impressive overall, though, from like a ranking standpoint. Let's see, where else? Where else can we venture off? Tight ends, Luke Likely, the tight end that Joe Grana really liked from Syracuse this year. He has the connection to McCord. I would not mind this. Let me pull up. I don't have his the report I did for him on hand. Let's pull this up in my Google Docs spreadsheet, because I watched a lot of the tight ends. So he's 6'5", 236. Here's what I have. He's great after the catch, great yak ability, solid route runner, great route tree, really pristine when he's running his routes. Some of the negatives I don't like about him, his build, 6'5", 236. He looks kind of like Alan Lazard in terms from like a build standpoint, like a big body wide receiver. He's not built like the average tight end you would see in the league. His ability to change directions, kind of, pivot, juke pretty quickly is a little below average. But when we're talking about a fifth round tight end, we're gonna need a tight end. Has a connection to Kyle McCord, who we just drafted. Gadsden, I think that's how you say his last name, Oronde Gadsden, the second. Has a connection to McCord here. I'm leaning Gadsden in the fifth round here. And then we have 158. We have 186. And then 208. All right, a few more picks left. I'm leaning Gadsden in with this pick right now. I see you guys in the chat. Yeah, good point here from Caden. Muji did this for Bo Nix and Troy Franklin as well. So who knows? You might want to do it here. I'll run it up with where are we? With 156th overall pick in the NY Flight Jets Talk 2025 mock draft. Well, last second comment here from Caden. Check out Lakely. We checked him out a little earlier, Caden. He's not too impressive here. Run block grade isn't great. Receiving grade isn't impressive. Overall grade's bad. And then his rankings don't really stand out except missed tackles for us. He's kind of above average in there. So not too impressive. I think Gadsden is the answer. I see you guys in the chat saying Gadsden. All right. Try it for a second time. Run it up. The 156th overall pick in the 2025 NY Flight Jets Talk mock draft. The New York Jets select Oronde Gadsden the second from tight end from Syracuse. Boom. We're on the clock 2 picks later, so we basically still have our same picking essentially from the same crop, so to speak here. Let's look. Let's look at Lacey. Not too impressive for me. They could use another wide receiver, especially if Rodgers doesn't come back. That's why I really liked Ted McMillan in the first round. Let's see, where are we? Ooh. This could be our last pick. Ryan Fitzgerald was like automatic as a kicker. I don't think he missed a field goal this past season. Want to do something fun in one of the later rounds? We could try that. Oh, here's what I wanted to look at. Safety RJ Mickens. He's down at the Shrine Bowl right now. He impressed the first day of practice yesterday. Safety from Clemson, son of Ray Mickens, former Jet officer. He was speaking to our guy Thomas Christopher from Jets X Factor down at the Shrine Bowl. And he said he would love to play with the Jets. He actually met with them yesterday. So RJ Mickens could be an interesting pick here. Watched a little of him yesterday when I saw he was down at the Shrine Bowl. Very versatile, has a high football IQ. Really solid against the run, and he's solid in man coverage against tight ends, which I think is very, very important here, because something we know as Jet fans over the past few years, the Jets seemingly can't stop a tight end. So This might be a bit of a reach on Mickens, but I don't think he's going to be available when the Jets are on the clock next. I say run it up and take RJ Mickens right now. I see Caden saying Mickens. I want to get everyone's thoughts here. Gauge the pulse of the fan base on RJ Mickens here. So Caden says Mickens. Let's see what everyone else has to say on Mickens. Jimmy says what wide receivers are left. I think I flashed that already. It's Lacey, excuse me. Prather, DK, White, but that's not realistic again, like I said. White's going to be gone. There's like a breach in their system right now. So we're not going to take Ricky White here because I don't think that's realistic. I think he's going in the 3rd round. I think Mickens is the pick. Let me know. We'll run it up shortly. Clark's an interesting one too, but I'd take Mickens. I like that connection to the Jets. Bet with the team too, which met with the team very, very early in the process, which I really like. Let me know what you guys have to say here. I think RJ Mickens is the pick. Safety from Clemson, son of Ray Mickens. Caden says Mickens' height. Do I have that handy? I'll get that for you, Caden. Good question. He's 6 foot. So he's not particularly like insanely tall, but he has some height to him. 6 foot 210 from a height and weight perspective on RJ Mickens. Yeah, I think we're gonna run it up. Alrighty. With the 158th overall pick in the NY Flight Jets Talk 2025 mock draft, the New York Jets select safety RJ Mickens. No, the New York Jets select RJ Mickens, safety, Clemson. Nice, good pick. 2 picks remaining in the draft here. Took a quarterback. Not any really good wide receivers. See, Will Shepard and Jimmy Horn. Did we take a wide receiver yet? They're down at the Shrine Bowl right now. I don't think we took a wide receiver. Shepard and Horn could be. Wester's good too. I think Wester might go undrafted, but he has some interesting. He's great in the slot. All 3 of these Colorado guys are really solid in the slot. Horn, The Jets had to go a move. I think you go with Wester transferred out of FAU last year. Shepard, Horn, meh. But LeJohntay Wester, I think. We're talking, guys, let's be real. We're talking about a 6th round pick right here. Caden says, who's ever the fastest? That's good. We need speed. I mean, LeJohntay Wester's a fast slot guy. Does it drop much? It doesn't really drop that much. He's a slot guy. I mean, he finished 15th in the NCAA with 821 slot yards. LeJohntay. Let's see. His 40 is 4.6. I see. .6 is his 40. He could be like like the Jets, what the Jets were looking for in Malachi Corley. Wester could bring that to the table. Jimmy says, did we take a linebacker? No. We've not taken a linebacker yet. Let's check those guys out. I don't think the remaining names are all that impressive at the linebacker position. I think Wester. I'm leaning Wester with this pick right now. What about like Jimmy Horn and no, Jimmy Kisner was taken. I believe so, at least. Let me just from Notre Dame. Yeah, Kisner was taken earlier on. Let's check Will Shepard 40 time. Won't show me now. Yeah, it won't show me his 40. You're all good, Jimmy. You're all good. Horn runs 4.38. So he's on the faster side for those leaning speed. He's also 5'10", 170. That's Jimmy Horn we're talking about here. I really want Wester, guys. I don't know what it is, but I'm really leaning LeJohntay Wester here. There was a defensive lineman I really liked. He's at the Shrine Bowl too. Might be a bit of a reach, but Tonka Hemingway from South Carolina. I was watching him yesterday. He's a really interesting. Yeah, he's a really interesting name. Some things I noticed from watching 3 of his games. Great. He's very quick with his length and lateral movements. He has a great package of moves when he's pass rushing. Great ability to read blocks, and he's going to deflect passes at the line of scrimmage. He is going to deflect passes at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he's 6'3", 288 on the bigger side. We're not talking like 300 pounds yet, but he's on the bigger side for an interior guy. We could wait until the next pick to take him because he's going to be there. Yeah. Horsley from Boston College is someone I looked into. He's a big run stuffer. 6'4", 306. A huge run stuffer. Horsley and Hemingway are like atop my board if you want to go a day 3 interior guy. Caden says take wide receiver. If you're going to go wide receiver, I think it's one of these 3. Shepard's not loading for some reason. I think Wester's the pick here. If you want to go the wide receiver route, I think Wester is the pick here for wide receiver. Or should we just look at a trade back, honestly? Because nothing here is really impressive. You want to trade back all the way to 243? Jimmy says Tonka if we switch to a 3-4. Caden says Wester. I'll tell you this, Jimmy. Well, Tonka Hemingway is going to be their next pick. He will be there at pick 208. So at this point, so will Wester, though. That's the point. Like, both of them are going to be there. So at this point, I'm thinking, should we just trade back? Just trade back as far as you could. We do 243 and a 5th next year for 180. Ugh. Ooh. What about this? 243 and 2 7ths next year for 186. That's favorable. Okay, I see Caden saying yes. I just want to get everyone else's thoughts. Get a 5th too. They won't do that though. What if even if they won't give up the 5th. We could do SW line. I picked Will Johnson in the 1st round. We got him with the 7th overall pick. Here, what about this, guys? This is what they'll do. 243 this year, 2 7ths next year, and a 6th and 27. Saying a 5th, and they won't give up their 5th for some reason. Let's go back and see what Miami will do. For 108. What if we give them 208 as well? So they won't give up a 4th. Nah. I like the Houston deal best. What do I have with Houston? 243 in exchange for 2 7ths. They won't. It says 30. Oh, we could do this. 2 7ths next year and a 6th. I think this is our best option. We could try this. This has a 33% chance. I might as well just put it in and see what I get. Wow, they accepted that. Wow. This is a great deal. Okay, wow. That's a that's a haul for 186. I get 243, 2 7ths next year, a 6th and a 7th and 27. They must have really wanted to come up. Because that's a really solid package there. Let me know what you guys think of that either in the chat. Wow, I'm a fan of that. Let me know. Like that. I just want to get your thoughts here before we move on to the next picks. Like I said, I want you guys to have input here on the next one. Taking care of business, Ditka, the GM over there. Appreciate you. Yeah, so a solid haul for that pick. I think it's pretty much safe to say. Because we still have 2 more cracks at it now. Because we have 208 now, 243 this year, 2 7ths in 26, a 6th and a 7th in 27. That's really, really solid. I'm just going to resume the draft now. I hope Hemingway didn't go. Please tell me Hemingway was not picked yet. Please. Yes, Tonka Hemingway is still there. Let's go. Let's friggin' go. Tonka Hemingway. Still there. We'll look around though. Let's see the other options. So let me just check on the chat really quick. Let's see what you guys have to say. I see Taking Care of Business saying, do you know the history of the Mike Ditka trade? Are you talking about the Ricky Williams trade right before the 1999 draft? I think that's what you're probably talking about. So yes, I do if you're talking about that trade. Caden says take kicker next. So I think we're just punting on wide receiver and not taking a wide receiver then at this point. If you want to go kicker next, probably defensive lineman here. Jimmy says wasn't Cross more highly rated? They're pretty similar. He's a high win rate, which I like. I'm leaning Hemingway right now. Unless we want to trade back again and get another pick. So we could go Hemingway, wide receiver. We could go Hemingway, wide receiver, then kicker. What if we did this? We try to get 248 for next year's set. What about 248? What about 248? So we can get another pick for like. It says this trade's lopsided. Your owner won't. What? What about that? So we just get an extra pick. 2 7ths. It's not even letting me do 1 7th. If you want to do that again, trade back so we just get more capital this year. Let me know. I want to see what you guys have to say. Yours says, could we trade Corley for a pick? I mean, you probably could. Caden says it's PFF free. There are free features. I pay for PFF because I use it in a lot of my Jets X Factor articles, and I use it a lot for my shows. You have to pay to get the full 7-round mock draft simulator, but you could just do 1 round for free. There's some other free simulators though. If you're talking about this, like PFN has a good one. Mock draft database is another good site. I just think PFF's the best, and I pay for it for like analytics and stuff anyways, so I just use it. Jimmy says 2027 7th. We could do. Let's just try this. Okay, 2027 7th. Trade not accepted. They won't do that. Would you be willing to throw in 2 7ths? Our 7th and Houston's in 27 for this. Well, a lot of 7s. 2 7ths and 27 for this year's pick. Uh, 26th and 27th 7th is what Jimmy says. So we'll do that. Yeah, we have 3 7th rounders in 26 and 27. So we're still picking here too. We're just adding another pick to our like repertoire, so to speak. So we'll offer this. Boom. Trade accepted. So we're still picking here again. 208, 243, 248 is what we have remaining. Malachi Moore is interesting. Did we take a safety? We took Watts. I keep forgetting. So there's that. Where we go? We were going to take Tonka Hemingway. You guys were leaning him, so we'll take Hemingway here. Just let me know. I want to get your final verdict here before we make any official motion, make an official move here in the draft. Let me know. Tonka, Jimmy says grab the Tonka chop. There we go. The 208th overall pick in the 2025 NY Flight Jet Stock mock draft. The New York Jets select Tonka Hemingway, defensive lineman, South Carolina. Boom. Tonka Hemingway is the pick. All right, so we have 243, 248 left. Guys, just remember the Jackson Dart thing is messed up. We're not taking Dart because that's never going to happen in the draft. Should we take the kicker here or the wide receiver? What should we do here? Where do you guys want to go? I'm leaning Wester, but again, I want to get your guys' thoughts. Gauge the pulse here. Jimmy says kicker. I mean, they're both going to be available next pick anyways. It's split. Caden says receiver. Jimmy says kicker. Someone split the difference here. They're both going to be available. So it just doesn't matter. It's just in the order of which we pick them because they're both going to be available. Yeah, they're both going to be available for us. We're going to end up landing both of them. Okay, Taylor says kicker. He broke the tie. Kicker it is. With the 243rd pick in the 2025 NY Flight Jet Stock mock draft, the New York Jets select Ryan Fitzgerald, kicker, Florida State. Now we have the kicker position locked up, and our last pick in the draft. You guys want to go wide receiver, so we'll take him. Oh my God! Wow, Wester and Shepard off the board. I knew we should have just taken receiver there. I did not. Jimmy says wrong kicker. Really? I thought he was the best kicker clearly in this year's draft. I thought he was pretty much perfect. Who'd you want from a kicker standpoint, Jimmy? I'm more concerned that now the receivers are gone that I wanted to look at. I guess Horn's the only option, pretty much. Yeah, again, I don't think there's any point, though. Tough spot right now with this last pick. We still haven't taken a linebacker. Should we just take a linebacker here for the fun of it? There's only one linebacker left. I don't know anything about this guy, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, good point. Jimmy says there are plenty of UDFA receivers. Good point. You could probably just get Horn after the draft. This is the only linebacker left. I'm going to be honest. I barely know anything about him. Nicholas Martin, Oklahoma State. Interesting frame, 6 foot 220. Missed tackle rate concerns me a lot. Solid pass rush grade, okay against the run, awful in coverage. You guys are saying linebacker. This is the only linebacker available, so I guess the pick is Nicholas Martin as of now, unless someone wants to chime in. And well, Caden says not him. The problem is he's the only one available. There is no other linebacker around. Yep, it's either him or no linebacker. Yeah. Damn is right, Caden. Tough place we are in right now. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please smash the like button and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We really appreciate your support on the show. Our goal is 2,000 subscribers by the draft, 3,000 by the start of the 2025 season. Hit subscribe, it's completely free. Hit like, it's completely free. Helps the channel grow a ton. Jimmy says, Borregales, kicker U Miami. I thought Fitzgerald was the one who was perfect. That's on me, though. I'm pretty sure Fitzgerald was the one who was perfect. Gerald. Let's check Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, yeah, was 100% on his field goals. Long field goal. His longest kick was 59 yards. He's 100%. He didn't miss one kick all of last season. He's 100% on his field goals and 100% on his extra points. Right pick to me, in my opinion. All right, Caden says Martin. Last chance if you guys want to get input here on this pick. Looks like we're going Nicholas Martin, linebacker, OSU. Final chance to get your thoughts in here. 50-minute mock draft. Good time frame. We really took our time with this, which I really like. Caden says Fitzgerald was a good pick. Love to hear it. Taking Care of Business says if you look at a guy like Aubrey in Dallas, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of guys that can kick an elite level. Well, the Jets didn't have that guy last year, so you might as well draft someone who's guaranteed he could. Not missing an extra point or a field goal. Caden says, or look at safeties. Then you can move him to linebacker. Shiloh's the only. Ooh, this could. He's the only safety available too. Shiloh could be fun. I just don't want the luggage that comes with him and Deion Sanders. Mid in coverage, mid in run defense. Shiloh Sanders could be the pick here, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Shiloh or Martin, probably the only two picks we're considering here. Caden says Shiloh. Last chance to get input on the pick if you want to make our last selection with us in the mock draft. Caden says Shiloh, last chance. Taking Care of Business is never Shiloh. It's tough. 50-50 right now. Someone split the tie. Caden says, okay, don't take Shiloh. So is it Nicholas Martin? Who are we taking here, guys? Also, by the way, let me know if you guys enjoy these mock drafts. I want to do more of these as the season heats up. As draft season kind of heats up here. Taylor says get Shiloh. So wow, we're split. Please, someone break the tie. I'm just gonna put a poll. Whatever. I'm putting in a poll right now. Should we draft? Who's the guy? Nick Martin was the linebacker's name. Martin. All right, the poll is up. You have 30 seconds to vote. Starting. We'll do 15. 15 seconds to vote. Starting. Boom, 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 boom. Now. 15 seconds to vote in the poll. That's what determines who we draft, not what you guys throw in the chat. 23 of you in the building on YouTube. Everyone has the opportunity to vote. It's ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. There it is. 7 people voted. 71% of you guys said Nick Martin. So Nick Martin is the pick here. Jimmy, we spent like 10 minutes though. 90 seconds on the clock. Our pick, we would have lost our pick. So it looks like we're taking Nick Martin here. You guys could still vote. I'll give you like 50. I'll give you another 15. How about that? For those who haven't voted, 22 of you in the building, only 8 of you voted. So last chance. 15 more seconds to put in the poll. Pinned at the top of the chat, by the way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. No one else voted. So it's still 75 Nick Martin, 25 Shiloh. Nick Martin is the pick with the Jets' last pick in the 2025 NY Flight Jets Talk mock draft. The New York Jets select Nicholas Martin, linebacker, Oklahoma State. Boom. That will do it. Our mock draft has come to an end. Let's see what PFF grades us here. We'll do grade Pick by pick. Okay, so they don't like the Jackson pick already. Will Johnson. All right, we got an A. We got an A for Will Johnson. A B plus for Xavier Watts. That's fair. A C plus for Donovan Jackson. They said we should have drafted my Derek Harmon. Interesting. Our trade that we made. Wow. David Walker gets an F. Are you serious? Come on, guys. That's insane. David Walker gets an F in the 4th round. Wow. That's crazy. McCord with an A. All right. Gadsden with a C minus. Wow, they're rough. RJ Mickens with a wow. They did not like us, guys. RJ Mickens with a D plus. Hemingway B minus. Fitzgerald C plus. Martin with a B. Gave us a B plus overall draft grade. Okay. I think that should have been like an A or an A minus. Let us know. How do you think we did, guys? I thought we did pretty well. The Jets, if that turned out to be the Jets draft, I would not have hated that at all. I thought that was a solid draft. I thought that was a really, really solid draft, and boom, after like an hour of being off screen, here I am. I'm alive. Well, I'm officially back. All right, hour and 7-minute long show. Appreciate you tuning in. Smash the like. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Last chance to give memberships for today's show. The month, we're running out of time this month. So smash the like, subscribe. Check out our Discord down below. Exclusive channel updates, daily Jets discussions. Join that. Check out our merch store. Great stuff there as always. And if you guys have any advice, things you want to see on the show, things you want me to improve on potentially, guests you want to see, throw it in the chat, throw it in the Discord, throw it in the chat even now. I'll look at it. I know people want to get Wink or Bet on the show. I'm already working on that. So just throw it in the chat. Caden says nice hat. Caden, appreciate it. Throw it in the chat if you have anything on the top of your mind that you want to see, right? Like happen on the show. Appreciate you guys. Great stuff as always. Should be back tomorrow, 7 or 8 p.m. We'll be on Eastern Standard Time as always. We'll recap the opening presser. I'll recap the opening presser for introductory press conference, for Mougey and Glenn. So that's where I am. That's what we'll be. That'll be the talk of the town tomorrow. Plus, I'm sure we'll talk some OCDC, Steve Wilkes, Nick Cayley, a lot of those guys. So, talks are starting to heat up, draft, coordinator hires. I hope the staff's in place soon. Taking care of business of the Jets had the worst hiring cycle, true or false? Certainly false. The Jaguars did by far. In terms of the way are you talking about the way they executed the search? Jaguars by far. Firing your GM way after you're already interviewing head coach candidates because you realize nobody wants to work with your GM. That's pretty poor. All right. We're going to wrap up here soon. Join the Discord. Check out the merch store down below in the description. Smash the like. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Really appreciate all your support. Stay tuned. We have a lot of fun plans coming up here on the show. So stay tuned for all of that. Keep watching. Your support means a ton. You guys are the ones who keep the show going. Appreciate you guys on this Sunday morning. Hope everyone enjoys football Sunday. Interesting slate of games here before we get into Super Bowl Sunday, which is in 2 weeks. So Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Commanders, so be sure to watch those games. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. And as always, I'm your host, Connor Long, signing off. JTS, Jets.